We are here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new style, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bring news just for you. It's Tuesday, July 30th here in Seoul. I'm Song Yujin and you're watching News Generation. Today we're joined by Choi Ji-hee.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, and Ki Kim.
Great to be back.
Welcome back. Now, both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. Now, as usual, we're going to start with our news feed, which covers different hashtags and news items that have been trending online. Let's start today with sports. Excitement is building in Korea for the 2024 Kupang Play Series, the preseason football matches hosted by the Korean streaming platform. After arriving in Korea on Sunday, Tottenham Hotspur, led by South Korean star Son Heung-min, will officially kick off their schedule today afternoon with a press conference. They'll discuss their upcoming match against Team K-League. Afterward, they'll hold an open training session at the Seoul World Cup Stadium in front of fans. Moving on the cultural front, the four royal palaces and Jongmyo Shrine in Seoul saw a significant increase in visitors during the first half of the year. According to the National Heritage Service on Monday, the number of visitors reached 6.55 million, up nearly 23% from the first half of 2023. Notably, international visitors more than doubled, reaching 1.56. The service attributes this surge in visitors to the overall increase in inbound tourists to South Korea. Moving on, in other news, a new survey by the domestic research platform Lime shows that nearly 3 out of 10 people in Korea will take a summer break but won't travel for leisure or sightseeing. The most common activities planned instead include watching TV or streaming services at home, meeting friends, attending musicals or concerts, and visiting their hometowns. Meanwhile, 35.7% of respondents said they would travel, and 36.6% answered they wouldn't take a break at all. The survey polled 2,000 adults across the country. So, to our panelists, have you scheduled your summer vacation yet? And if you have, please share your plans.
More like 1/3 of them work, or you never know as a freelancer when they're going to have a job coming in.
Right.
So I might stay at home, and home is the best place. Nicely air conditioned, food and drink in the fridge, gaming consoles waiting for you. Although I'm a little bit concerned about electricity bill.
Right, because of the air conditioning, I can definitely relate with that. Now, Ji, do you have plans for the summer? Are you planning to take a break?
Well, I don't have any specific plans yet, but I do try to make sure that I'm always getting those weekend getaways whenever I can, so that I can avoid burnout. And just like Ki, I'm also a freelancer. I'm a freelance interpreter, so I work whenever there's a project. But there are peak seasons in spring and autumn for an interpreter, with fewer gigs in summer like now and winter. And moving forward, I plan to use my free weekdays and weekends to travel, relax at home, and also spend time with friends and maybe engage in some hobbies.
Well, that already sounds fun.
Yeah, that's a plan actually.
Yeah, it is. That's actually a plan. Yeah. And that was our news feed for this Tuesday. So we're now going to move on to our main discussion topic of the day by taking a look at the screen.
As many from the younger generation are entering, or will soon enter, what our society typically calls marriage age, this question is coming up more frequently. What's your definition of an ideal spouse? Have you ever thought about the qualities you're looking for in a life partner? If not, explore your answers with us today on News Generation.
So today we're going to talk about this fun topic. Now, if you don't have an answer yet, like me, let's start by considering what your peers, our generation, are thinking. So we actually chose this topic today because a relevant survey was recently released, right, Ji?
That's right. So a recent survey of office workers in the country asked how much salary they hope their potential partners would earn. So let's take a look at the screen for more. So the graph shows that around half of the respondents wanted their partners to earn a minimum of 40 to 50 million Korean won, and about a fifth of them desired their partners to earn 60 million or more.
Wow.
Well, that's a lot. And 1/4 of the respondents indicated that they didn't care much about their partner's income. However, as of 2023, the actual average salary of Korean office workers was about 41 million Korean won, And since this average includes high-income earners, the median would be much lower, implying that the expected income is higher than the reality of many office workers here in the country.
Right. So based on the statistics that you've just shown us, it really shows that annual salary seems to be an important quality in what our generation, the younger generation, sees as a good spouse. So, Ki, I want to ask you, do we also have data on whether this holds true for those who actually tied the knot?
Yes, and this might disappoint some of you who are getting ready to get married, and this concerns these two ladies as well. So when you take a look at the survey for the past 2 years for those who actually got married, male on average earned 70 million, and a female on average earned 45 million, so that's slightly above the average you've mentioned. So combined, it's about 115 million a year. So again, like Chi said, this also includes a high-income earner, so the median is not exactly accurate, but there are definitely some gaps between the average income of the regular office workers as to those who are actually getting married.
Right. So definitely income seems to be an important trait or quality when the younger generation is searching for a potential spouse or a life partner. So back to you, Ki, is how much you earn something our parents or previous generations also considered important when finding a spouse? And also, are there any other new traits that our generation is emphasizing or valuing more than the previous generations?
So to be honest with you, getting married is getting much tougher because the financial burden is on our shoulder. But there are some interesting results of ideal spouse. In 2004, for example, the income was the most important criteria, the personality and family background for men. Whereas in the ladies, personality was the most important priority, then came look and their income. But in 2014, personality was the most important quality for male, and then income, then look. And personality, once again, became the most important quality for the ladies. And look at, interestingly, what the person's belief is and their value. Whereas last year, year 2023, personality stayed the same as the most important quality for both men and women.
I see.
And what they believe in value came in second for both. For third most important quality was income for men, and for ladies, it was look. But when we actually talk about the financial power, it's not just about how much you earn or how much of assets you actually have. It's also what we call 재테크. How much you can invest in and how much can you make the bigger money later on with what you have. So that's another important quality.
I see. So a lot of qualities that our generation is considering when finding a life partner. And you mentioned how it's getting tougher for the younger generation to get married because everything is becoming pricier. And I think that there is also a change in societal perception that marriage is no longer a necessity. It's based on your choice, which I think kind of leads to the younger generation considering more factors when finding a potential spouse or finding a life partner. So much so that we've heard of this new term trending among our generation, which we mentioned on Houston before, called the hexagonal human. So what is this, Chi, once again?
Right. So we've discussed this as a topic before. In recent years, there's been a noticeable trend among millennials and Gen Zs in Korea favoring what is termed the hexagonal human or spouse. And this concept breaks down desirable traits into 6 distinct categories.
Wow, 6.
Yes, emphasizing a well-rounded evaluation rather than focusing on just one attribute within a partner. So for men, the criteria for being a hexagon human include height of at least 175 centimeters, neither too skinny nor overweight, a pleasant appearance, even if not traditionally handsome, parents financially prepared for retirement, assets valued between 200 million and 300 million Korean won, and also employment at a major corporation, public enterprise, or government position, and even a degree from a prestigious four-year university in Seoul. I know, right? So these requirements are very stringent, but despite that, statistics reveal that only 0.2% of individuals meet all these criteria.
I'm surprised that there are actually people who meet this criteria.
Exactly, 0.2%.
Who's the 0.2%?
It's a rare find. However, unlike previous generations, millennials and Gen Z do not think of marriage as a necessity.
Right.
So if they do not find a partner who meets all of these standards, then they're just content with remaining single. Also, a partner's job and their salary were the most critical factors in the past. However, in recent times, financial assets, not just their income, but the assets that they already own has
For
become,
example, your house?
yeah, for example, a house or your parents' asset or owning a car even has become very important.
Wow, definitely our generation, the younger generation here in Korea are considering a diverse range of factors when they're finding a life partner. So to find out whether this is prevalent in other parts of the world as well, we're now going to invite a millennial who has experienced an international marriage. We'll be right back after this break. Right, so today we're joined by Jem Kozak, an American millennial in an American-Korean international marriage. Great to have you back on the show, Jem.
Hi there, good to see you.
Hi, great to have you back. So our first question for you, Jem, is how long have you been married? And when you decided to marry your husband, what was the top quality or trait you looked for in a spouse?
Wow, well, actually, it's been a very long time. We got married quite young. I've been married 14 years. We had just graduated university and got married right away. So at that time, I'd say my top quality, just like you guys mentioned, was personality, that we got along well. So that was definitely my first choice back then, too.
I see. Well, it's great to see you again, Jem. My second question to you is, do you think there's a difference between what people in Korea and the United States consider important when choosing a spouse?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, as you know, the marriage age is getting a lot later in South Korea, so people are getting married past the age of 30 usually. In the US, people get married in their early 20s. So I feel like it's different the way that people choose their partner, as in, you know, you get married and you start with nothing, usually in the US. So we each have our job and then we build together, get a house together, get an apartment together, get our furniture, things like that. Whereas in Korea, people are kind of expected to already have these things or already be kind of established before they get married. And then they kind of go from there. So I feel like it's such a huge difference between the two countries.
Okay, so well, now that you're married, what do you think the most important characteristic or personality in a lifetime partner, and has your perspective or your thought changed after getting married?
Oh my gosh, absolutely yes. Because as I mentioned, I was in my 20s when I got married. The thing that has changed the most is you have to find the person you're comfortable with, that you laugh with. So yes, personality is the big factor, of course. But I do think my perspective has changed, and I see my friends around me who are also getting married. Some people are separating. You also want to make sure before you get married that you're on the same page. Where do you want to live? How many kids do you want to have? Where do you see yourself in the future? These are some of the most important things you have to talk about before you get married. And if you're in an international marriage too, you've got 2 countries, 3 countries, so that's really a big factor too.
Right, I'll definitely keep that in mind. All right, Jem,
Yes,
thank you
so
so
much.
All right, Jem, thank you so much for your time today. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Great. Thank you.
Thank
Bye. So we've talked about this all day long throughout our episode, but I don't think that I've asked this question to our panelists. So how do you define your ideal romantic partner? We are a show that loves short pop quizzes, so we're back with our OX quiz. So please raise the O or X sign depending on your answer.
Sure.
Okay, let's go. Number 1, when planning to marry someone, you need to check all 6 aspects of the so-called hexagonal human chart. 1, 2, 3.
X and O.
X and O.
Yeah.
So could you briefly explain your answers?
Sure.
Do
you want to go first,
Okay,
Keith?
I can go first. Well, I personally didn't check the hexagonal chart when I was getting married, but But genuinely check where you two are at right now. I think that this chart could serve as a very important thing. And if you don't wish to see the epic soap operas that you would see in the Korean channels in the morning, you really want to take a look at this to discuss where you two are at right now.
It can definitely help when you're trying to find that person you want to tie the knot with. Now,
Exactly.
why are you in between, Chi?
That's because I don't want to look at the hexagonal characteristics of a hexagonal human that we've been talking about, but I have my own sort of criteria. Which
Oh,
is why I
really?
set out. Yeah. You'll find out later.
Okay, I will. Okay, so let's move on to our second question, which is number 2. When choosing a spouse, I think we mentioned this earlier in the discussion, income is more important than the assets they possess. What do you think? 1, 2, 3. So, Ji chose O, Ki chose X. Why?
I said O because income is more of a reflection of the person's efforts and ability right now, and assets could be a reflection of their family's wealth. You know? That's why I think the income is more important, and you can accumulate your asset, like Jem said,
Together.
Together, you can build it together. Yeah.
I see. That's a lovely answer. Now, why did you choose X, Ki?
Well, because I think both income and assets are important, but more important thing is your financial plan, how you vision, or how, like Jem said, and what you're saying, your future plan, what you're going to do, where you're going to live, if it's a lease, if you're going to buy the house. Because when you live together, you get into a fight for a tiny bit of a reason. Like who's going to put the trash out?
Right.
How you're going to make the bed? All those things, all the way up to if you're going to buy the house, lease the house, and how much money you're going to give to each household when it's a holiday or something like that. So, having a firm plan and clean vision together is a really important thing.
Right, having a clean vision and a plan together. Number 3, the last question.
Okay.
The most important quality in a spouse is, as Jem mentioned, personality. 1, 2, 3. So O and O. Why? It's such an obvious question,
it is
but
an obvious question. I mean, because you have to be comfortable with the person, and you have to be with someone you can laugh with.
Right.
Like Jem said.
right. Someone you can click with.
Yeah.
But it is the most important part because you're seeking for a life partner supposedly, and dating and getting married are a completely different thing also. And like Jam said, you have to be on the same page. One of the things the pastor always says at the wedding ceremony is like you're not walking toward each other, but you're walking together the same direction. So that's another thing. The personality is really, really important characteristic.
Right. It's kind of like finding your lifelong best friend. So I think that personality is definitely important. Now, we've heard from our panelists, so let's hear from our viewers because we asked them what qualities they prioritize in a spouse, and here's what 3 of them said. So if we look at the comments, Benny says, for me, the important things that I look for from my partner is to have a family-oriented and good mindset, as well as whether she is a big fan of sports and music. It makes me happy when someone likes the beach too. Leon says, having similar core values and beliefs, compatibility in terms of lifestyle, goals and interests, trust and honesty, respecting each other's opinions, boundaries and individuality are some of the important qualities I look out for in my partner or spouse. MIMS says their character, honesty, integrity, kindness, respect, responsibility, and perseverance. Wow, so our viewers are also looking into diverse traits, whether it's personality or sharing a hobby, etc., when they're trying to find their ideal lifelong partner. Now, as mentioned earlier in our discussion, marriage is no longer a must. It's actually a choice. But for those who want to walk down the aisle, choosing the right person can lead to a wonderful and fulfilling life. And there's actually no single definition of a perfect person for everyone, but you can at least try to find the person who matches you the best. So last but not least, what do you think can help us, our viewers, find the one?
Well, I already did so no searching is needed for me. Not. So I'd like to say that finding the one is a deeply personal journey that comes down to a combination of self-awareness and openness.
Oh, that's important.
So you have to really know what you want.
Yeah.
And I think it doesn't need searching for. You don't have to look. When the time is right, I think the one is just, it will come to you, and just focus on yourself and reflect on what truly makes you happy and what qualities in a partner will complement your life. Stay open to new experiences, be ready to meet new people so that you know what you want as well. And be ready to have honest and open conversations with the other person, and just trust your instincts feelings.
Oh.
And be patient. And the right person will not only share your core values, but will also challenge you to grow and support you through life's ups and downs. And you'll realize, I hope, that that is where your life belongs.
And maybe you'll find someone that you could share your life with. Yeah. Now, what about Yuki?
Well, I don't have a fancy answer as Jihi does.
You gave such a great answer.
My
Thank you.
instinct is not that great, I'm guessing. But then the thing is, most important thing is how much your spouse understands you. That's the most important thing. Someone that makes you comfortable, someone that makes you laugh, and at the same time, someone who takes you as who you are, not blinded by your look, what you have, your asset, but just take the person as who you are. I think that's the most important quality. And I'm sure if you will feel that moment with this person, okay, this person takes me as who I am, and this person likes me, and I think I can spend the rest of my life with this person. You will feel that moment.
Okay, wish I could feel that moment soon. And all of our viewers too. And that's all from us today, but Newsden will be back tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Korea time, bring you more topics young people are talking about. Special thanks today to Chiji.
Thank you.
And Ki Kim.
Thank you.
And thank you everyone for watching. And before we say goodbye, Arirang TV is conducting a program survey, including our program NewsGen, in order to meet our viewers' expectations. So please visit us at our official website or mobile app Arirang TV for your valuable feedback until August 4th. Once again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. We are News Generation.